In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create simple animations like this one using Keynote for your live streams and online presentations. Let's get into it. Do you want to spruce up your live stream or online presentation using simple animated graphics, but you don't know how to use programs like Adobe After Effects, or you don't have the budget or the team to create these graphics? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Keynote to get this all done. These simple graphics can be brought into programs like Ecamm on a Mac, vMix on a PC, or a free program like OBS that's available on both platforms. Hi, my name is Patrick, and this is Everyday Tech. Everyday Tech for everyday people. So the overlay that we're going to recreate is the one I showed in the beginning. This one right here. I'm going to show you how to do this from scratch using Keynote. So let's move over to Keynote right now. So in Keynote, what we need to do is when you start up a new project, you're going to start off to choose a theme. And it really doesn't matter what theme you choose, but I usually try to use one of the very simple ones here. I'm going to choose basic white and make sure you're in 16:9 aspect ratio, which is should be the same as your online presentation or video here. So let's go ahead and pick basic white here. The first thing I like to do is change the master here to a blank slate, and I'm going to reduce this down so we can have a little bit more room. But what I like to do and to create that overlay that we just did before is go from back to front. So I'm going to create the background first, and let me get back to that overlay here. So the blue backdrop here, and then we're going to do the text afterwards as well. So let's start by creating a shape here. And we're going to put it on the left side here. And we're going to put it all the way. Now with that selected, let's go over to the fill and let's do something like that. I think that was the same color or similar color. And now we're going to add the text here. And how about instead of doing everyday tech, let's do something like and subscribe. And let's stylize that a little bit. Let's make that 60 font. Let's make that white. And that's looking pretty good. And we can make sure that's centered. Yep. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is do the animation now. So let's first start with the background again first. Select the background and go to animate at the top there. And we want to add an animation. And it's hard to see this in the video, but you can select whatever kind of animation you want. I'm going to do the move in feature. And I don't like that bounce, so I'm going to uncheck the bounce. Maybe put it to 0.5 seconds. And yep, I like that. Now let's do the like and subscribe text. Let's add a text here, or add an effect, I should say. And I'm going to choose dissolve. And that's a little slow for me as well. I'm going to also do it to 0.5 preview, and that's pretty good. Now to the next, and probably one of the most important steps here, is while you're still in the animate section here, we want to do build order. Now build order here, I want to select the rectangle. And instead of on click, I want to do after transition. Let's click on the like and subscribe. Instead of on click, I want to do, let's start with build one first. And now we can go preview and you can kind of see how they come in, right? Okay, with build does it at the same time, so that's pretty good. If you do after build one, then it does it right after the background comes in. But I kind of want it to come in sooner, but not exactly at the same time. So let's go back to with build one. And here you can add a little bit of delay. So I'm going to try 0.5. That's still taking a little too long for me. So 0.3. And there we go. So now we have the animation that we like, right? Now, the big thing is now we need to take care of this white background, because if you just bring this into any program like vMix or OBS, or Ecamm, it's just going to be what you see here, and it's just going to cover up your video here. So what we want to do is click out of, don't have any element here selected, just click outside of there so the document is selected. Go back to format here, and this is the most important part, background, no fill. So now it's showing black on my screen here, but this is really a transparent background. Now the last thing that we want to do here is export this now. So we need to go to File, Export to Movie. Now I already have some of my defaults already selected here, but what you would probably see when you first come in here is this is set to 720p or 1080p. What we want to choose is Custom. And Custom allows us to choose the compression type. Now I'm filming this in 60 frames per second, but you want to match what you're filming in here. And then I'm going to put this to Apple ProRes 4444 here. Now the resolution can be 1920 by 1080, or it can be 1280 by 720. Now if you're doing a live stream, 720 will probably be good enough, and it'll be easier on your system here. Hit next, and we're gonna save this on our desktop. Creating that movie. And now we are ready to go to bring this animated transparent movie into one of our programs here. So I'm using Ecamm here, and so now I'm going to show you how you can do this in Ecamm. So let's bring in what we just did into Ecamm Live. So I have Ecamm Live here, and I have two scenes up here right now, and this is my main camera right here that I'm recording on, and then this is the overlay that I showed in the beginning of the video. But now we want to create or bring in the one that we just created from scratch. So you can either do two things. You can duplicate this main one and then bring it in. So let me do that right now. Let's choose the main one. Let's duplicate that. Let's just say copy of main. And then we can just drag and drop the movie that we just created and put it just over it. And it's pretty much that simple right now. So don't worry about these cameras right here. But the only problem with this is when I start to move back and forth, right, I have to shift my body to the left here. So let's get rid of that, and I'm going to show you a different way to do this. Let's go back to the main scene here. Let's create a blank overlay here. Like and subscribe. First, I want to bring in an animated movie here. So let's go to our overlays window here, an animated overlay, and we're going to choose the file that we just created, like and subscribe, and that brings in that file. Now, the most important thing here is under this part, you want to make sure it says autoplay and do nothing. If you say hide, it'll just go away after it's done playing. If you do loop, it'll just keep on looping and looping. So that's what you want to do. Say autoplay and do nothing. Next, we want to bring in our overlay camera here. So going back to the overlays here, let's bring in an overlay, camera overlay here. And what I want to do is make this as big as possible, move it over to the center of that part. And then we want to put this under that layer of that animated movie. And don't forget to lock your different layers in your overlays. That way you don't accidentally move something around. So now we have a like and subscribe overlay. So let's go from one scene to another. Like and subscribe, everyday tech. And so these are different CTA or call to action things that you can do during your live presentations, your live streams. And these are really bring in a little bit of flair and spruce up your presentations as well. Now, PowerPoint could do something very similar to this. Now, if you're more comfortable with PowerPoint or you're on a PC and Keynote is not an option for you, basically, PowerPoint can export ProRes 4444, which has the transparent or the alpha channel to do transparent backgrounds for animated movies. But you can use green or blue to use the green screen or what they call chroma keying out that background. And so you can bring those into OBS or vMix as well. If you want to see a demo of that, leave a comment below. For videos like this or other tech related videos, check out the other videos on my YouTube channel where I talk about gadgets, home automations, or anything in my everyday life related to tech. If you found this helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. Until the next one, see ya.